Hello everyone, this is Alchemical Transmissions, and today we're going to talk about New Earth, what that is, what it's going to look like, and the energies around that we're experiencing this month. So the energies of New Earth, what is that going to be like? Well, the biggest thing that I got was that it's going to be a separation in the form of density. In other words, it's going to become very difficult to be around people who are not in the same reality of a higher dimension and a lighter density. So there is currently a split occurring. This split isn't just one way or the other, it's actually a split into a bunch of different sort of compartmentalized frequencies and realities. So part of what light workers do when they come here is they're bringing up the entire frequency of the human collective and the planet. And one thing that they've had to endure while they do that is to feel like an outsider because the vast majority of the planet wasn't on the same frequency level, and they've had to go about their lives sort of trying to fit in when they really didn't. That's why many light workers feel alone and feel ostracized. There's been a separation for a while in regards to that, and in regards to all of the different frequencies sort of being meshed together. Now, on one hand, that was a good thing because it allowed the light workers to come in and really alter the frequency of Earth and our collective and really bring it up and pull it up. On the other hand, it's a very hard existence to endure because you feel completely out of place with the frequency you're bringing through. It makes it really hard to relate to people, to relate to family members and friends even. And also because lightworkers' missions were so individualistic, a lot of times they couldn't really find people on that same frequency. Even though they were out there, everyone had their own specific mission and healing to do for the collective. And most of the times that it was an individual thing that they're going through. And now that a lot of that has been done, and overall the frequency of the planet and the collective has been raised to such a level that now different realities and timelines are becoming more separated and solidified. This is going to make way for timeline stacking. Basically, Earth will be different for everyone. One of the ways that I was seeing this was like different floors to a house. So you can imagine the Earth and the human collective as the house, but each floor is a different timeline and a different energy density. This means it's incredibly important to cultivate your energy at this time and make sure you're not engaging with lower frequency activities, anything that really pulls your energy down. And for most of us on this journey, from all the healing work we've done and everything we've been through, you have a pretty good idea of what brings your frequency up and brings it down. You're a lot more, especially now, you're a lot more sensitive to this. Your sensitivity is heightened at this moment as we're going through these splits. And if something pulls your frequency lower, it's up to you to not engage with it. And if you're ever questioning if something is in line with you or not, it's really simple. You just think about, does it make me feel closer to God? Does it make me feel more whole? Does it make me feel love and abundance and peace? And then you can flip that around to figure out what's not in alignment with you. So does it make you feel angry? Does it make you feel discordance in you? Does it make you feel sad? Does it make you feel vengeful? None of those things feel good, but we can sometimes get wrapped up in them, and especially if we are repeating cycles or we're constantly in the energy of where we're engaging with that, sometimes it is hard to lose sight that that is not our natural state, and it's not normal for us to be feeling like that the majority of the time. So it really is up to us to pull ourselves out of that energy, and that's incredibly important right now as these sort of splits are happening. And when I say splits, it's really just the energy is sort of migrating to where it's more naturally, it's in its most natural state. Now, I didn't see that it's like when this happens, you can't get to different states, you can't move to different splits and things like that. It's just that it's going to become more difficult, you know. For a while, for a long time, we've all of our energies have been commingling, right? That's why it was so hard for these high frequency light workers to exist on this planet, because it really was in this sort of dark age, and it was uncomfortable because there wasn't this split. Naturally, the work that you've done towards healing is going to pull you away from these things that would put you out of alignment, but we still have free will, obviously. So it is up to you to notice when these things are happening that are pulling you down into places that are not natural for you and are out of alignment. And you really need to kind of be the observer and pull yourself out and notice when that's happening, because we really want to get ourselves in these higher timelines. So my spiritual team and my higher self were giving me information that they're calling this the Divergence, or the many paths of choice. So we have the option to decide what timeline we will enter. Lower timelines will be associated with old Earth and what most have been experiencing for a long time. What I was seeing is that this is still where the darker forces are going to have a monopoly on control and a monopoly on power and influence, but that does not have to be the dominant timeline we exist in if we choose not to. And we have the opportunity now, moving forward, to move into our desired realities. They were giving me that this is an important message right now because time is incredibly sped up. So as these splits happen and as the total frequency of the realities on this planet has been becoming less and less dense and higher, time actually starts to speed up. And I'm sure many of you have noticed this, that time has just been like, you'll blink and it feels like 2 weeks have gone by. That's because you're starting to speed up into higher timelines. And we will be experiencing reality shifts very fast. This is why cultivating your state is so important. And you really want to anchor in your energy to your desired state. I can't get that across strongly enough. They really wanted that message to come through the most. So not only is it about cleaning up your energy, it's also about setting intention to where you want to be and what you want to be feeling like. That was a big thing. And a lot of times the things that we're searching for in the physical reality are the deeper driving force behind that is usually a very simple connection to God. So for example, if you're looking for more security, the driving force behind that is usually wanting a connection and feeling of abundance. That's what God is. It's just pure abundance, right? Abundance and love. And that's what we want, right? When we feel a lack of security, we feel a lack of abundance. And, you know, usually most of our wants can be boiled down to simple things we can find within ourselves through our connection with God. And that's going to be incredibly important moving forward. That is what they want us to look at. It's not the material life we'd like to live, it is the driving force behind that in relationship to God. And by cultivating that, in turn, those things that we want will show up in our lives. So you really want to try to embody the version of you that is in that state already, that is that person. So it's a small distinction, but don't try to focus on what your surroundings will be like, what your life will be like, the things that will come to you. You can do that, and sometimes that works, but you really, if you focus on the version of you that is already feeling that way, that is what you want to draw into your energetic space until you become that. That is what you want to anchor in. So you can imagine the timelines of Earth all having coexisted before, and now there is a fanning out into multiple roads. So like a road forking into two roads. It's like that, but instead, a lot more than that. And we get to decide by choosing our frequency which road we'd want to be on. And you will always be able to move up to higher roads, so to speak, but it will be harder the longer you stay anchored into these lower timelines as this split occurs. It's going to become more and more difficult to kind of pull yourself out of that, which is why this message is coming through right now. So what will this actually look like? Well, we simply will be existing in separate realities, but still on Earth. So another image I got was that imagine Earth is a hotel, and you get into an elevator and you pick the floor that you're going to get off at, and every floor is different. That is essentially what New Earth will look like. So the whole hotel is Earth, all the floors are Earth, but each floor is separate, and they're not going to be able, they're not going to see one another, right? You're just going to see what's on your floor. And if you want to go to another floor, it's going to be up to you to cultivate your energy and your frequency to get there. That will be what New Earth will look like. The last message I received is that in the higher realities, in the higher timelines, I see the overruling of darker forces coming to a complete end, and our DNA restored completely, allowing us to re-engage in the natural ascension process, and that societies will start to be built upon the law of one. This is the Christ energy, that we are not separate from one another, and that we are all Christic beings, and that we are all connected through God. So thank you guys for hearing my message today. I hope you guys have a great May. And if you're interested in working with me, my information is in the description box below. And I will probably be putting up a website in the next month, maybe month and a half. And my services will be on there. So take care. Remember to set intention for your energy moving forward. And I hope this message has helped you.